Please be seated. Let us welcome the Master of Ceremonies, Supervising Science Research Specialist of the Research and Development Division, Philippine Textile Research Institute, Dr. Julius L. Lianyo Jr.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The month of January is special to the Philippine Textile Research Institute because on the 30th of this month, we marked our 52nd anniversary. And also in January, we celebrate the Philippine Tropical Fabrics Month. Philippine Tropical Fabrics, or PTF, was launched way back in 1997 during the Manila Fame and was immortalized in RA 9242, otherwise known as the Philippine Tropical Fabrics Act, which mandates government employees and officials to use PTF for their uniform and other fabric requirements. This act has not only lodged certification of fabrics as PTF to PTRI, but it has also given us, back in 2004, a rallying point for the development and commercialization of Philippine textiles in general, with an ultimate objective of catalyzing the revival of the Philippine textile industry. Textiles, Fabric, or TELA, Textiles Empowering Lives Anew, is an apt description of what we do, develop, and aim at the Institute. It has been more than a decade since, and this year, we gather to listen to a TELA story as PTF rises to the challenge. To officially welcome us all, ladies and gentlemen, the Director of the Philippine Textile Research Institute, Director Celia B. Alumba.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody? Oh, so, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. I am very pleased to welcome you to this year's edition of the TELA Conference. You know, every year, we are given the opportunity to pay tribute to fabrics or textiles distinctly Filipino, that is knitted and finished entirely in the Philippines. So kapag ito'y nagawa natin dito, kanina binabagit ko lang po sa aking mga ibang kasamahan din sa isa pong lamesa, kapag po nasimulan na natin yung ating Regional Yarn Production Innovation Center, pwede na tayong kumuha ng TELA 100% Filipinas. So yun po yung ating aspiration. You know, despite efforts, there were efforts in the past. No? This was 11 years after the enactment of the implementing rules and regulations. Despite efforts that were done by the DOST, PTRI, and the partner agencies, for example, the UNIMODA, or the Uniform Manufacturers and Designers Organization, despite those efforts, the use or the utilization of Philippine tropical fabrics by government employees and officials have really been very, very stymied. And that is for a very, very simple reason. It is for lack of supply on a commercial scale. So in today's program, we shall take a deeper dive into this TELA conversation. We will consider the natural textile fiber supply chain, or PTF, to Dr. Antonio Lelusin from the Institute of Plant Breeding of the University of the Philippines in Los Baños. Ms. Olivia Ang, thank you very much for coming again to be with us, who is President of the Uniform Manufacturers and Designers Association, or UNIMODA, will speak about the landscape of uniform manufacture. In the afternoon, we shall be privileged to have with us Mr. Clement Yang, Chairman of Medtex, one of the textile manufacturing companies in the Philippines, share with us insights and their perspective on opportunities for the textile sector. Finally, Ms. Jean Borbon, founder and CEO of fashion house Silk Cocoon, a Philippine textile advocate, will share her thoughts on design perspectives for ETF. In between these talks, allow us to share with you snippets of TELA stories of people, traditions, dreams, and aspirations from the Cordilleras to Negros Occidental, to the South Cotabato region, the Bicol region, and the National Capital region. This will be, our day will be capped by a runway presentation featuring our model representatives. These are real-life civil servants who will wear unique prototypes developed by our esteemed design professionals. You know, we at the DOST-Philippines had a wonderful opportunity to work with so many, 6 NGAs, and much is Department of Trade, of Tourism. Maraming pong salamat for coming over. We have from the Office of the Provincial Government of Negros Occidental. Thank you very much. Representing Governor Maranyon. Philippine Center for Environmental Protection. June Alvarez. Thank you very much, June. We also have friends from TALA Workshop, from Abrea Linea, from the Development Action for Women Network, the Philippine Pacific Apparel Corp. Who is here for Phil Pacific? Thank you very much for joining us. And from our sister agencies from Regions 2, 4A, the Cordillera, Region 7, I saw PSTD Arena Antipolo here. We have DOSTCO, our friends from the FNRI, Peace Shirt. Oh, thank you very much, our funding partners, Peace Shirt here. From PICC, the Executive or Director Mulong Agangan is also here with us from PICC as well. We have our friends from here. And from the Foreign Buyers Association of the Philippines, Mr. Robert Yang, President of the FOBA, and Trustee Director of Textiles of the Phil Export, along with friends of the Design Center of the Philippines, Executive Director Rhea Matute, if she's around. Hi, Rhea. How wonderful to see you. So from Hopen, from our friends at this table, we have Ms. Mons Romulo, we have Anya, we have Denise, and we have Kylie Misa. From the House of Congress, we have from the Office of Congressman Charlie Kawangkot at Thelma. Thank you for coming and joining us. From Mooney, Denise is from Mooney, and from TESDA, our development partners at the TESDA, with whom we hope to already accomplish our national certification program for our handloom weavers so that their skills may be recognized and they may be given due recognition. Thank you very much, everybody. I welcome you all, and we truly appreciate your presence here because together there is much that we can do. Good morning, everyone. We are very privileged to have with us one of our favorite persons in the entire Philippines and the entire world at this moment. He's really our most favorite person. Allow me the pleasure of introducing to you the Secretary of our Department of Science and Technology, Secretary Fortunato T. de la Peña. Secretary de la Peña started his professional career at the then ESO Standard Eastern as a cost and operations engineer back in the day, after graduating with a BS Chemical Engineering degree from the University of the Philippines. He took up graduate studies in industrial engineering at the same university and earned an MS degree in industrial engineering. He joined the UP College of Engineering faculty as an instructor in 1973 and rose to become full professor in 1988. He served UP in various capacities as chairman of the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, as assistant to the executive director of the National Engineering Center, as director of the Institute for Small-Scale Industries, and as assistant vice president for planning and development. He was seconded to the National Science and Technology Authority, which later became the Department of Science and Technology 3 times, as head of its planning service, as director of its Technology Application and Promotion Institute, and as Undersecretary for Scientific and Technical Services, after which he retired in 2014. In 2016, we were very pleased when he was appointed DOST Secretary. He led a number of professional organizations as its president. These are the Philippine Institute of Chemical Engineers, the Association of Management and Industrial Engineers of the Philippines, the National Research Council of the Philippines, and the Philippine Association for Advancement of Science and Technology. He also served as chair of the UN Commission on Science and Technology for Development. The awards he received include the Dangal ng Bayan Award from the Civil Service Commission, the Outstanding Career Executive Officer Award from the Career Executive Service Board, the Outstanding Professional Award from the Professional Regulations Commission, the UP Alumni Association Award for Public Service, and the UP Alumni Engineers Most Distinguished Alumnus Award. He taught industrial engineering and operations research at the University of the Philippines for 43 years from 1973 to 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our beloved Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, Secretary for Economic Development.
Maraming salamat, Director Celia Alumba. Allow me to also greet in a special way some of our guests who really took time out from their busy schedules to be with us today at the celebration of the 52nd anniversary of the Philippine Textile Research Institute. So, allow me to greet Robert Yang from COPA, Olivia Ang from Unimoda. Allow me to greet Dr. Lalusin from the Institute of Plant Breeding in UP Los Baños. We have our partner ISAT University in Iloilo, Carmelo Ambot. We have businessman Alvin Yap. And of course, our director of the Forest Products Research and Development Institute, Romulo Agangan. Okay? Partner na kayo ngayon ng PTRI dahil meron ng kahalong bamboo ang ating mga damit. And then, of course, I saw Director Rhea Matute from the Design Center of the Philippines. I'm so happy to see you again, Director Rhea. And I saw Dina Escorial over there from our P-shirt. And at my back earlier is a designer, Miss Dulce. Of course, I have been able to talk only to those near my table, so I have not mentioned the other names. And later, maybe I will get to know. Of course, I see here, other than Director Lumba and Julius, one of my first employees at DOST, May Rico, young graduate at that time, now a grandmother. Really, fellow workers in government, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to begin by greeting again the men and women of PTRI, the Philippine Textile Research Institute, on the occasion of its 52nd anniversary. Through the years, PTRI has embodied flexibility, tenacity, and resolve, attributes that they have in common with the textile materials and the dyes that they have been working on. So happy anniversary, PTRI. 52nd anniversary, not too far. You know, we are celebrating our 50th year of graduation from UP College of Engineering. And 2 taon lang pala ang diferensya, okay? In January every year, we observe the Philippine Tropical Fabrics Month, and the celebration aims to increase our awareness about Philippine tropical fibers. At the same time, we would like to elevate the discourse on the challenges and opportunities that confront our local textile industry. The conference here now, which we aptly tagged PTF, or Philippine Tropical Fibers, Rising to the Challenge, will contribute to the ever-developing story of our local textile developments. Maybe I should just share with you that during the past year, 2018, I have spent more time with PTRI than any other research institute because of projects that are actually in its starting stage in some parts of the country, other than the projects that we can see through the actual facilities that have been set up at the PTRI complex in Bicutan. We also have the projects that have been started, one in Mindanao, one in Iloilo, one in CAR. Okay? I don't know whether there are others that you have started, but I'm familiar with these three. These being the areas where we used to have our materials and we still have the weavers in these particular areas. So I am not too familiar yet with the details of the ongoing project in Misamis, okay? But I know that that particular place has been the, shall we say, the bank for our silkworms, okay? And in CAR also we have this, and in fact we should have CAR officials here, but maybe Director Nancy is busy because they are evaluating the performance of other regions. They're being deployed to other regions to evaluate. So I know the project in Isatyu, especially Isatyu, because I have been there twice, okay? And I hope that when I visit it again, we already have something concrete ongoing. Because the two times that I visited, it was first to agree that we will collaborate. The second one was to agree on the details of the project. And when we go back there, and he is inviting me already in March, he says he will show us something that is already ongoing. Okay? And we are really trying to label Isatyu as a leader in textile technology. So please do not fail us, VP Mel Ambot. Okay? Now, the other things, of course, would be our attempts to really create enterprises. Okay? On many occasions in the past, we have attempted to really transfer know-how and skills. And however, in most cases, after transferring the know-how, hindi naman talaga nakakaroon ng mga new businesses. Okay? Most of these are existing businesses. And but here, I would like to encourage, and it's good that we have some business representatives here. Kung hindi man kayo, baka meron kayo matulungang mga gustong mag-start up ng businesses that are related to textile, to yarns, and to natural dyes. I also said that even if the natural dyes that they have been developing are basically applicable to yarns and textile, I have been encouraging them to find other uses for the natural dyes, okay? Because you know, at this particular age when everybody is concerned about more natural, more organic, I think these things will be more in demand. But PTRI, I think, has really been, shall we say, ano nga ang term na ginamit natin kanina, it has been flexible and it has tenacity. Okay? And I would like to really see that continuing because there has been many challenges. I have to confess to you, I hope it's not bad to say these things, but when we rationalized in 2002, actually it lasted for 6 years, the rationalization program of the government, the most threatened agencies of DOST was PTRI and the Forest Product Research and Development Institute. we used all kinds of strategies so that it will not be abolished. So, mabuti naman, that was already 2008, so more than 10 years now, and there is again ongoing talks of, how do they call it, right sizing, okay? The DBM is now talking about right sizing. I don't know what it means, but I am afraid that after all this brouhaha on the General Appropriations Act, they will now focus on right sizing, DBM. So we should gather all the evidence that we can be able to gather to show them that we are relevant, that we are collaborating with industry, and that we have been helping in creating enterprises. So please keep that in mind, because PTRI, sabi nga nila, flexible and has the tenacity, has really attempted so many things, you know, that would relate to the strengthening of the textile industry. But the environment, which is not within our control, is really very unfriendly to local textile industry. Okay, so with strong collaboration with the academe, with the business sector, particularly those who are involved in the marketing and exporting of textile products, let us continue. Okay, I'm happy to know that there has been no, shall we say, conflicts among the sectors. It's really the larger environment that we are trying to contend with. So, let me go back. PTRI now has successfully been blending Philippine tropical fibers. I would like to thank Director Elumba and of course Ms. Goldborn for the new attire I am wearing. Hesitant ako maglakad kanina dyan, baka akala ninyo nagmo-model na kami. Kaya, but really, I was told that what I'm wearing is 70% cotton and 30% bamboo. Okay? Kaya pala mabigat. But if you are wearing a suit, okay, parang ganun lang ang weight. And I must say that it feels comfortable, quite comfortable. So I don't feel I'm wearing bamboo. So siguro ipapromote natin kay Bamboo. Igawa niya ng kanta. Okay? So the other thing, of course, is that we cannot be oblivious to the challenges that would hamper the commercial yarn production by the private sector. The economies of scale always comes into the picture, okay? Setting up a facility and only getting a certain amount for markets, okay, is usually a big challenge. But with the key players, not only DOST but DA, DTI, and the private sector, we can confront these odds and we can take the Philippine tropical fibers not as it is but what it can be. Okay? So I enjoin our stakeholders to heed the Philippine tropical fiber story, not just to determine what each one of us can do, but what we can do all together. Sabi nga nila, what I can do, maybe you cannot do. What you can do, maybe I cannot do. But together, we can do it. Okay? I mentioned that public technology in one aspect has, the technologies to produce these are available and they have been available for some time. And the lament of PTRI is that, why is it that other countries, some are poorer than us, have already been successful? Okay, mention here is made of Sri Lanka, Haiti, India, and Uganda and Mexico. Of course, they are still in the initial stages also, but some have been already quite successful in their initiatives. So I'm sure that hindi naman tayo pwedeng magpahuli. Okay? So, sila pala yung hihingi ng tulong. Oo, pero I think I have been to Sri Lanka and I had a dinner with Filipino workers in the garment industry. So I was thinking, mukhang mas successful sila dahil bakit nagpuntahan doon ang mga Filipino workers. No? The bulk of Filipino workers in Sri Lanka are in garments. Okay, what else can we do? A different strategy definitely is necessary to change, okay, our situation as far as the Philippine tropical fibers are concerned. And this is probably one of the things that you can do during this conference is really to draw up creative, innovative ideas on how we can push the Philippine tropical fiber. I am very, very sure that we cannot move forward without the collaboration of the private sector. So we have even launched a program not just for PTRI but for all our higher educational institutions and research institutions, that if a company, a private company, would like to have a research done, okay, maybe to solve their problems or to come up with new products or to improve their productivity through research, which they cannot do but can be done by people from the academy. We encourage them to do that, and the encouragement comes in the form of funding support for the research partnership. So if you are a company, maybe you can contribute all the materials needed. If the university, you can contribute the manpower, and we will take care of the rest up to a maximum of 5 million pesos per project. So this is the Cradle project that we have been promoting now. And I still wanted to say something, but paminsan doon, mahirap, nakakalimutan ko bigla at the middle of the of the speech. But something that I forgot to greet, of course, the people from the UP College of Home Economics. Tumayo naman yung mga taga-UP College of Home Economics. Isa lang ba? Dalawa? Noong araw, madalas ako sa Sitra kasi yung best friend ko, ang girlfriend taga Sitra. Pagka hindi niya masundo, kasi siya ay varsity player, ako taga sundo. And we have been recalling that kasi now, after more than 50 years, we try to recall what has been happening when we were students. So, familiar ako sa Sitra, even during its early years. So, anyway, I would like to greet all of you and feel at ease with each other in this conference so that we can come up with creative, innovative ideas that will help all of us. Thank you very much.
We request again the Secretary Lapenia, also request Ms. Ang and join the Secretary on stage for a photo opportunity.
The secretaries won't be proceeding to another activity. He's got a really full schedule these days. May we request some of our friends from the industry? Robert, you're here already. Bibi Ambot. Alvin, come and join us. Claro, Claro, I see you. Please come and join us.
Again, we would like to extend our sincerest appreciation for the presence and the message of our beloved Secretary and for wearing PTRI's Cotton Bamboo, our newest fabric development. So maybe you could hashtag it now, FTP or Fortunato T. de la Peña, FTP wears PTF. As we proceed to the conference proper, our conference will feature talks that will be woven into the story of the Philippine tropical fabrics as it rises to the challenge. We have 3 speakers in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, and in between the talks, we will be having stories from the communities and the groups that adopted and benefited from the various developments and services of PTRI. To begin our conference, we start with the Philippine tropical fabrics as a textile material and as a canvas of the philosophy that guides PTRI in research and development and in technical services. What is PTRI's story? Our first speaker holds a bachelor's degree in clothing technology from the University of the Philippines in Diliman. She has an extensive experience in the garments sector before she joined government as a program manager of the Garment and Textile Industry Development Office, or GTIDO, under the Department of Trade and Industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Director of the Philippine Textile Research Institute, Director Celia B. Alumba.
Hi again, everyone. When we were thinking of what to title this talk, the first thing that people put there was redefining. We can't really redefine because the law is the law. We cannot go more or less of what it is. It has to be very specific and very exacting, very precise. So we thought of using the word rethinking because when we speak of the Philippine tropical fabrics, it really is with the view of how we can mainstream it. And the challenge is that there are not very many people out there who are in a position to produce or to make the supply of the Philippine tropical fabric material, beginning with the yarn. Everything starts with the spun yarn. So the word that I'm now using is rethinking the how-to for mainstream use. So this is an avenue or a vehicle that we are now, this event that we have, is an avenue for us to share with you how we have rethought this particular Philippine tropical fabrics conundrum, and so this is our version 2.0. Yes, please keep on clicking. Yes. So we show these images because they are basically very iconic or very symbolic of the countries where they are being used. If you see these images, automatically you have an idea of what country they are from. So if I have the next slide, please. When it comes to the Philippines, what comes to mind? Barong Tagalog, Maria Clara, Laterno, but we all know that these are really special occasion wear. These are very special pieces. They are practically 100% handmade. So there is no argument about their special place in our outfitting as far as our own textile developments are concerned. But this is not what we can use as far as our government uniforms are concerned. Do you agree? Medyo gusto ko man, parang wow, masyado yata akong dressed up pag lagi akong naka-pinesera and polo barong, right? So the men, no issue. But for the women, wow. So here is RA 19242, which is this particular act that prescribes the use of Philippine tropical fabrics for uniforms of government employees. Next slide, please. The Philippine Tropical Fabric Law basically says that medyo nahihiya ako pag sinasabi ko na itong part na to kasi yung law is really, or the implementing rules and regulations were really providing for very token 5% abaca, 5% banana, 5% pineapple leaf, or 15% silk. What does it mean? You know, di ba pag majority, anong sabihin ng majority? 50 plus 1. So whether it is cheap value or cheap weight, it is really what is more dominant, right? But in the case of Philippine tropical fabrics, para masimulan, they agree that we can use 5%, kahit 5% lang. But did you know that during that period in time, this was already a challenge. Not many could meet the 5%. They were meeting 2%, 3%. It was a very particular challenge. And also that point in time, they were blending this with polyester. Noong araw, okay lang yun because we did not know better. But today, with the UN SDGs or the Sustainable Development Goals, and we're looking at the circularity of the economy, we would like to make sure that we put in more natural components. So while we agree that polyester or any synthetic material has its place, kasi ayaw mo naman palagi kang lugo, ano yun? Suot mayaman. Gusot mayaman, which is in linen, di ba? If you're working for government, hindi ka pwedeng gusot or gusot mayaman. So kailangan lagyan mo yung warp mo ng polyester, yung weft mo, ay not necessarily, mas maganda siya kung siya ay completely natural material. Not polyester blended with a natural material, which was the case that was done in the exercise of the first generation PTF materials. Next slide, please. So at the PDRI, we of course would like to go from niche to mainstream. So we have some products that are being featured here that you've already seen in the past, and these are products of different social entrepreneurs who have really been in contact with the PDRI. So from those to distinctive collaborations to new material developments, these are already being undertaken at the Institute. Part of our framework is to go into higher generation ways of extracting polymers or cellulosic materials that can go into a different kind of a textile production process. But before that, we then go into further into developing this into, next slide please, into corporate wear for government uniforms. Uniforms that reflect the character of the agencies that they are being used for. This is towards the promotion of the Philippine tropical fabric and at the same time, indigenous weaves or traditional textiles. We have to make a distinction. Not all traditional textiles or traditional fabrics or indigenous weaves are ETF. Because alam niyo ba, yung mga karamihan ng ating mini-weave, ng mga hand weavers natin, they're not even using anymore natural materials. They're actually using imported synthetic materials, primarily polyester. So meron tayong mga examples na nag-attend sila ng selling exhibition in another country. Nung nalaman, it was the buyers were attracted by how beautiful the product looked, by the skill and by the way that the product really was presented. But when they found out, the buyers, when they found out that this is made of 100% polyester, you know, they sold zero. So this is a real life story. And this really is, it drives home the point that the world today is really looking at more green or eco or more environmentally sound ways of helping out everybody, the planet and people alike. So we are looking at corporate wear for government uniforms, and we're very thankful to the DOST-Philippines shirt for helping us to fund this particular program. I'm not sure if our executive director, former executive director CP David has made it, but he was actually one of those who really inspired the making of this particular program or project. If I may have the next slide, please. So we then decided that we crafted the idea, how do we rethink this and do a couple of birds with one stone. So we worked with a number of government agencies, national government agencies, the CSC. Ang Civil Service Commission is like the major HR organization for the entire government service, the system. Then we have the NEDA, National Economic Development Authority. We have the Department of Foreign Affairs, of course the DOST, the Department of Trade and Industry, and the Department of Tourism. So we approached them. We wanted to find out, if we were to do something like this, may we count on your support and on your help. So you can imagine a slew of different meetings and activities that had to be undertaken. And from there, if I may have the next slide, please. We crafted a project that would have two parts to it. Part one was by invitation with premier or professional fashion designers. Designers who have been in the industry for 20 years. Those who have been really designing and prototyping for mass customized product, for corporate wear, whether it's for a bank or for an airline or a restaurant or a hotel, those who have had that experience. And those who therefore are also using, advocating, and are interested in the use of Philippine natural textiles. So we requested, or we selected a number of them to work with us on the designing and prototyping of 3 sets. Pardon the extensive discussion on the days, but what it really meant was, if we're looking at uniforms, typically you will have 4 of them. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Your Friday is the wash day, or when you have a free day, and then you have a gala wear. We wanted to make sure that if there's a special occasion, a special event, let's say you have visiting dignitaries, or you are visiting another country, or you're making a presentation, you have something more different from the usual that you can then use to wear. We did not intend to say that there will be 4 different wear or uniform, although it is a practice in most places. But if you look at airlines, or if you look at the hotels or the banks, they only have one design, right? What we wanted was to really expand the possibilities so that there is more interest and there could be more encouragement and inspiration. If they wish to have all 4 differently, that is certainly within their scope of what they can apply. But if they also wish to only choose 1 or 2, we'll be very happy if they pick 1 or 2. So if I may have the next one, please. Then we have a second, I apologize. So we did a drawing of the lots. We had premier designer assignments for the Civil Service Commission, and for the NEDA we have, Civil Service Commission, we have Albert Andrada. For NEDA, as well as for the Department of Foreign Affairs, JC Buendia. Next slide, please. We have PJ Aranajor designing for the DOST. We have Ramon Laurel for the DTI, and Patrice Ramos Diaz designing for the Department of Tourism. Next slide, please. This was a meeting that was held with the professional fashion designers back in August 6. So from that time to this time, that was a lot of intensive work and meetings and coordinations that had to be undertaken. Next slide, please. The second part to this project was a call for competition for other design professionals and schools. And so we were able to garner 16 to 18 participants or contestants. And from this, there were 18 designs that were requested to be prototyped. 3 finalists are going to receive a prize later this afternoon when we make the runway presentation or the project presentation of the output of this particular exercise. So this design competition is now going to be for 2 sets of uniforms for the Wednesday and the Thursday of the week use of government agencies. Next slide, please. So just to share with you, we have the selection committee, which is composed of Ms. Ruth Canlas of the non-timber forest products exchange program. NTFP was our project partner who helped us to source some of the indigenous weaves or traditional textiles, because they are very much steeped in working with the communities that produce our traditional fabrics. Ms. Rika Abad is Vice President for Administration of the University of the Philippines, based in Diliman. Of course, you know Jean Goldborn, founder of Silk Cocoon, and Ms. Kim Jones, founder of The Ford. Next slide, please. In addition, we have Quinito Jose, or Quintin Pastrana, who is the founder of Library Renewal Partnership and a TV anchor for Money Matters, as well as Quintin Pastrana, who is in media, marketing, and is an advertising executive, and of course myself. But aside from that, we have representatives of the 6 national government agencies also participating in the selection process. Next slide, please. Just for reference, These were colors that were chosen for the practical application or practical use. This was really a selection on what would be representative of the NGA's particular needs. And so these were done in 75-25 cotton abaca and 75-25 cotton pineapple leaf. Next slide, please. Some of the materials were the weaves that we had originally targeted and proposed. These are the binacol from Ilocos Norte. Next slide, please. Gadang textiles from the Mountain Province, from the Baricelis. Next slide. The malongs coming from Lake Cebu in South Cotabato. Next slide. Inol fabrics from Maguindanao. Next slide. Pablon from Iloilo. Next slide, please. Piña fabrics from the Piña Mancha Group in Calibo, Aklan. Next slide, please. Okay, before you click that, I just wanted to say that the challenge here was how to incorporate the time frame. As the ladies in the table on my left can attest, weaving is not a very simple exercise. It requires time, it requires a lot of planning and a lot of coordination. So while we had proposed originally the materials that I had shown to you, they were not all readily available. There was no time to get them together. So we were challenged with what can be incorporated. So I just want to level the expectations of what you're going to see later on this afternoon. They are brilliant, they are very nice, but I wish we could have used more indigenous textile materials that we have with our communities. But yes, there were a lot of them that are and were still represented. So please, if I may have the next slide. So this was supposed to be, the call for competition this is a very modest attempt to encourage people to come forward and help us with how we can inspire people in government to take a look at what can be done with our Philippine tropical fabrics and traditional textiles. So we have provided a very, a very modest prize monies to have that encouragement. But more than that, it was really the idea of being able to collaborate. Imagine if the government agency says that I would love to buy in. That is already going to nurture fantastic business opportunities, not just from the designer, the sewers, the weavers, the cutters, not just from them, but also from the people from whom we source the Philippine tropical fiber to begin with, the natural textile fiber. So, next slide please. So from rethinking the idea as a uniform design and prototyping project, we are looking to how we can then gear up and go forward as a TELA Pilipinas project. By this we mean that while we are not obligating or requiring the government, participating government agencies to really make use of what has been made available to them, if they do elect and vote to do it, you know that the supply is going to be very challenged, right? Those in the know would know that this is not readily available. Well, the PTRI is standing before you to tell you that we will make this possible. We know that our people are going to be extremely challenged because to begin with, we are not in manufacturing. But having said that, we believe and we understand that this is an opportunity for all of us to be able to stand together to come up with product that can really truly be of some economic help to our countrymen, as well as to the development of more textile opportunities for the Philippines. So by this we mean that we are very much willing to projectize any development going forward with the project, with the uniform projects. And I say this with the full confidence that we have the support of our DOST as well as our shared funding partners. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Sa inyo lahat. Last slide.
my friends and my mom from Indonesia. So when I became involved with Nardas, we decided to venture into naturals. We also noticed that more people now are interested in eco-friendly products. Nardas Naturals started in 2016, where we exposed our staff to natural dye, natural fiber, and PTRI. We availed of trainings, one in Ifugao, and the last one was in Winaka, where the PTRI staff came to train our people about natural dyes.
Ako si Florence Maling, is supervisor dito sa Mayas. In 2016, nagpatulong kami ni PTRI yung kasama usaran ti natural dyeing, ti dye source cut from Winaka, mahogany, kubon, sweeping, indigo, cantoneri.
Nardas Naturals help create new opportunities in the local and international market for Nardas.
The innovation in textile composition is hinged on the judicious utilization of natural fiber materials from our fiber crops and from agricultural byproducts. The availability of textiles materials is crucial in kickstarting not just textile production, but the entire textile value chain. How has science, technology, and innovation engaged the natural fiber supply towards textile applications? This will be discussed by our second speaker. He obtained his bachelor's degree in agriculture, majoring in horticulture and plant breeding from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. He went on to attain his master's and PhD degrees in bioresource engineering from the University of Tsukuba in Japan. One of his most noteworthy projects include the rehabilitation of abaca plantation through the adoption of high-yielding and virus-resistant abaca. Currently, he is an associate professor at the Institute of Crop Science, College of Agriculture and Food Science, University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Antonio G. Delusi.
Good morning po sa ating lahat. Good morning po. Medyo yung bedroom voice po. So, I will be discussing the prospects of Bandala variety of abaca as a potential source of fibers for the textile industry. Actually, Bandala is an acronym. It is Abacros Abaca with native and desirable accessions to live up the abaca industry. So, while I am discussing, tingnan nyo kung paano namin nabuo ang hybrid. Okay? So, abaca is Musa textilis ni, it is a relative of banana. Banana is Musa acuminata, the latundan type, and Sabak type is Musa balbisiana. So, it is endemic to the Philippines, so it means it is one of our national treasure. Actually, abaca is being planted in Ecuador, but the abaca varieties in Ecuador came also from us. It was smuggled from us because there is a law that prohibiting to move out the abaca planting materials in the Philippines. So it is a source of fiber, internationally known as Manila hemp, and it is an important major dollar earner, and abaca is generating $80 million annually. Imagine the amount of money being supplied by abaca. Okay, next please. So, but abaca production is being hindered by some problems like the presence of virus diseases. Meron pong sakit. Kung ang tao merong HIV, o yung aso natin tinatamaan ng virus also. So, the abaca plant is being affected also by 3 viruses. Imagine 3 viruses in one plant. So, it is affected by abaca banchitap, mosaic virus, and brown mosaic virus. And in the case of Bicol and Leyte and Southern Leyte, imagine the infection is 43%, and the value in peso is around 202 million pesos. And for example, in the case of Bicol, if there is only 5.19% infection, the value in pesos is 23 million pesos already. And that is a big amount of money. And for example, in the case of Las Navas in Samar, Las Navas is abaca country also, same as Catanduanes. Wala na pong nabubuhay na abaca because of that disease. Okay? So that's why UPLB, through the application of breeding, nag-develop po kami ng varieties na resistant sa that virus. Okay? So this is the milestone of abaca breeding in UPLB. Actually, abaca breeding in UPLB started in 1920s. Okay? In 2019 ngayon, so more or less 99 years. Then, yung abaca banchita virus po was reported 1915. So almost to 103 years old na yung disease. And up to now, wala pa po tayong na-develop na solution. So, IPB developed the first F1 hybrids between Pacol and abaca in 1986. So, Pacol is a wild banana with resistance to the virus. Nandun po yung virus, resistance gene na para counteract yung the virus diseases. Then, in 1995, BC1 process were produced and evaluated, and 2006, the BC2 hybrids were produced using DNA markers already. So we employed modern technology in developing the variety. 2010, we developed the BC3 using DNA markers also. And in 2012 to 2018, we employed genomics already in the development of the variety. Actually, Pandala is a Bacros 2 hybrid. So it means, next please. So here, this is the development of our variety. So abaca, having a good tensile strength, good fiber qualities, but wild banana has poor fiber quality but very resistant to the virus. So we want to integrate or to combine resistance and fiber quality in one variety. Okay? So the F1 is 50% abaca and 50% banana or wild banana. So the F1 is resistant, but the fiber quality is more or less the same as the Pacol or the banana. Then we backcross it to abaca so that we can gather or we can recover the fiber qualities. Okay, so and it became 75% abaca and 25% banana. Then another backcrossing was done to produce the BC2, which is the Bandala, and that is 87.5% abaca and 12.5% only banana. Okay, so in that case, we can recover the fiber qualities. At the same time, we have the resistance. Okay, as of now, we have the BC3, but Bandala is BC2. Okay, BC3, we have BC3, which is 92.25% abaca genome and only 7.75% banana genome. So, we don't want to remove the resistance because that is one problem of abaca. We could not produce fibers, that's one reason why mababa ang supply natin o wala tayong magamit sa textile. Dahil ang daming demand ng abaca fibers, usually cordage and pulp and paper, then yung ibang uses hindi na bibigyan ng importansya. Okay, please, next please. So this is how we develop the hybrid through breeding. So imagine the puso, hindi po lang yung banana may puso o yung tao may puso, pati po yung abaka may puso din. Ano po, malapit na po kasi yung araw ng mga puso. So, yan po, binibreed po namin, kinocross namin yung abaka by wild banana, then backcrossing the F1, backcross 2, backcross 1 by another abaka variety. Okay. So, then after producing the seeds, next please, in-evaluate po namin yung resistance. So, pinili muna namin, that is, yung insect po is Pentalonia nigronervosa. Siya lang po yung nagdadala ng virus sa abaka. Wala pong iba, hindi po siya na-transfer mechanically, but only by that insect. Yung aphid, black aphid. So, nilagyan po namin sila, every seedling nilagyan namin sila ng 10 aphids per seedling. And from that, we selected which one is resistant or which one is susceptible. Okay? So, then after selecting, we planted in the field, then we do fiber analysis. Okay? Next, please. So, after selecting the best backcross 2 abaka, so we did multi-location trials para po makita natin na abaka, yung hybrids natin is really resistant and even the performance of the hybrid is stable. Minsan po kasi, abaka is location specific. Kaya po, pag nagtanim kayo ng Inosa is a good variety of abaka in Visayas, but ilipat nyo po siya sa ibang place, hindi na po siya gaganda. Ganun din po yung Maguindanao. That is the best variety of abaka in Mindanao. Move out Maguindanao in Mindanao and hindi siya gaganda. Ganun din po yung Abuab. Abuab is the best variety of abaka in Catanduanes. So, inassess po namin yung major abaka growing areas, tinanim namin yung hybrids para i-assess yung stability ng performance at the same time yung resistance sa virus. Okay, so we have in UPLB, in Bukap, in Katsu, in UEP, BSU, USEP, USM, WIMSU in Mindanao, in Zamboanga, then Butuan, Karsu in Butuan. So we have multi-location po yung process ng pagpapatanim through tissue culture. Actually, one sucker of banana or abaka, if you will propagate it through tissue culture, you can produce 64,000 in 8 months. 64,000 seedlings in 8 months. Imagine that is if everything is okay, no problem with contamination. So, after producing enough planting materials, we did multiplication trial. Okay. Next, please. So, these are the multiplication trial sites. So, we can see the performance of the hybrids. For example, in that one, the tall one are the hybrids and the small one are the traditional abaka. Okay? Next, please. So, this is in USEP, Bukap, and WIMSU. Next, please. So, here. So, this is the one, the multi-location trial site in BSU, in Bisaya. Then, in UEP, in UPLB, so the small one are the traditional abaka, and the tall ones are the hybrids. Okay. So, then we get the fibers from that, and this is in Catanduanes. So this is aguac, the variety of abaka in Catanduanes. Then this is the fiber of our hybrids. So from that you can see the differences already. Okay, so pinagtabi po, so you can see the difference even in color. So the fibers of the hybrids are white as compared to the traditional variety. Okay? Next, please. So, ito po yung average performance of the hybrids in all environments. So, there are two varieties that were tested. Yung H2 and H7. H7 is yung puhang bandala. Okay, so yung bandala is performing outstanding in all environments, but in terms of dry weight and fiber recovery, mas mataas po yung tinawagang pula, which is a traditional variety of bicol. Sa fiber recovery po, okay po. Pero sa tensile strength, halos hindi po magkalayo ang H7 at saka yung tinawagang pula. Pero i-compare niyo po sa inosa matibay po talaga yung inosa eh. Kaya yung fibers niya medyo malalaki. Kaya siya sobrang medyo matibay as compared to the hybrids. Okay po? Actually, this is the data of Mr. Labus from FPRDI. So, chemical properties of raw abaca fibers and abaca pulp. So, makikita po natin dito yung lignin content, holocellulose content, and alpha cellulose. So, raw abaca fibers have 10.67% lignin, 78.61% holocellulose, and 49.59% alpha cellulose. And raw abaca inosa variety have 7.43% lignin, 86.09% holocellulose, and 66% alpha cellulose. So, pag pinal po, medyo nababawasan yung lignin, tumataas ang holocellulose ng hybrid, and even the alpha cellulose.